Hello, everyone. Hello. And yeah, thanks for the invitation. I'm very happy to talk to you today about my practice. My name is Malena Kronschnabl, and that's me. And I'm a graphic designer, and I started my own small studio called Studio Mut. I focus on visual communication, blending conceptual design with critical thinking, and I like to experiment and explore to create forward-thinking designs. And my work is mostly image-based design, often mixed with some typography. And I'm very interested in the mix of analog and digital techniques. So today, I'll tell you a bit more about my path in graphic design, and yeah, first a little bit about my personal background, mainly about my creative journey today, and of course, something about my current practice. So first of all, I'm currently living in Stuttgart, Germany, and that's how it looks like when I step out of my flat. But originally, I'm from Obergünzburg. That's a small town in the region in South Bavaria called Allgäu. That's located in the Alpine Foreland, so it's close to the mountains, and it kind of looks like that when I step out of the house there. And since that was quite abstract, there are some insights of a photo publication I did a few years ago that shows my two homes, Stuttgart and Obergünzburg, and the journey in between. So I grew up at the edge of a village directly next to a forest, and the forest rather felt like an extension to our garden. So obviously we spent a lot of time outside, and looking backwards, I guess that's when I started being a kind of observer and observing nature and how it changed, sharpens senses, makes you aware of all the beauty around you as well. And even now, being outdoors is in beautiful surroundings remains the best place to charge my batteries. And I think that's why visiting this area always feels like going to a little island where time moves a lot slower, or it's a lot slower pace for me. Yeah, that's me. And my two brothers. And my family, sports was always number one, and same for me. But as we three were all very different, I had this additional role as the creative one. So I spend a lot of time outside, but also love doing things like casting candles, felting, and lots of painting and drawing, of course. Made my own jewelry and so on. However, one important thing to this I might be my grandfather, my uncle, and my father, they all worked in this printing company here, of which I found this sweet litho print. And my grandfather, during his apprenticeship as a printer, learned to work with Clayton press and the Heidelberg cylinder, and also did some typesetting skills and tools that I in turn used in my studies again. So that whole topic of printing definitely influenced me in a way, because it was always around in our family. And since you asked me in advance what triggered me to become a graphic designer, I have to say that there was not a particular reason or moment. But at some point, I just decided to become a designer without even really knowing what this means. But before that, I wanted to become a teacher. And what I loved most about this job was three things. That was doing the worksheets, writing and drawing on the blackboard, which I had at home, and making students. So my parents, they gave me access to the computer in the cellar, which was really cool for me because there was Word on the computer. And before that, I was always writing and drawing the worksheets by hand before, and then I could use Word and put on clip art and change typography to Comic Sans, which did a lot. And and I could even print them out. But I still have like 3 big photos of those worksheets. But my real creative journey started here at State Academy of Arts and Design Stuttgart, where I started studying communication design in 2014. And these are the sacred halls I spent quite a few semesters in. And a key person during my time there was definitely my professor, Patrick Thomas, in which specialized visual communication class I was the 2 first years of undergraduate studies. After undergraduate studies. And here you can see one Klasse Thomas poster project for the annual Rundgang exhibition. Sorry. As I mentioned in the beginning, I would describe my work rather as a pictorial design, since I come from an illustration background. And I used to do a lot of marker drawings and crayon drawings in this very different style here, which I still do. And this being said, I come to one of my key lessons that I learned at a couple of semesters. So there was one point when I realized you have to go for it now and change something, or this won't go the way you wanted it to. The way of working that I thought was cool or expected by me, that didn't really suit me. And I'm not a classic Swiss black and white graphic designer. And I tried really to be courageous and try not to hide anymore, put out my own style and to embrace color and maybe more of a female way of designing as well. And all of a sudden I felt seen, and that was kind of successful. And then I tried out everything. So I tried to softening the boundaries of graphic design and transferring illustrations to other materials, like on just silk, levitation scarf, or trying out new techniques like the graffito technique on this wall. The term graffito is derived from the Italian verb graffiare, meaning to scratch. And in that case, you scratch off the white line layer, so the black layer beneath appears. Also, I did a lot of silk screen prints on textile, or this reversible hat here. And so in addition to the 3D or tangible objects, 3-dimensionality also came into my graphic practice. And for example, in this project here, a group of fellow students and I designed promotional material every week for a club called erste Stock, which means basically first floor in English, that I see in Stuttgart. And it resulted in many, many visuals that were always based on the track by the artist playing there at the event. I enjoy working with various materials and love using my hands to create, all while incorporating elements of graphic design. So this MK earring edition is a good example for it. Here I work with raised pieces of acrylic glass and adopt the shapes, colors, and form language that I use in illustration. I started this in 2019 when these kinds of earrings did not really exist yet. Which brings me to another key lesson I learned. So if you have a project idea like the MK earrings and you feel the urge of doing it, you have to do it. I learned if you have an intrinsic motivation to do things and you're happy with the outcome, other people will love it as well. Like I said, back then, these kind of earrings didn't exist that much. I know that changed a lot, but back then this was a huge and unexpected success for me. And they really sold like hotcakes. And yeah, I know that's a very basic lesson, but for me, I needed to really experience that to really understand it. And since then, I do a collection every year. And I have these acrylic earrings as well as the porcelain edition, which you can see here. What I like a lot about working with different materials is also having the chance to be in different workshops, like with the earrings being in the ceramic workshop. And here I kind of expanded the process to a ways that I once illustrated into a real 3D object. A bit about the process. After the basic form is built up from clay, the negative form is cast from plaster, and liquid porcelain with added pigment is poured into the plaster mold. After bisquiring, they are wet sanded, glazed on the inside, fired a second time, and get polished until they're finished and ready to use. The studies at the academy is structured in a way that gives a lot of space that enables independent work, and students have a lot of freedom for personal development. In addition, many real projects are carried out, which is why many students become self-employed during the studies, and they earn money with their work already. And so these are with illustration, vases, earrings, and the textiles. And since I grew up in a printer family, naturally, I spent a lot of time during my studies in sixth grade and bookbinding workshop. In this video here, you can see a classic Thomas publication, which I did together with Chris. You can see him taking out the cover. And if there's one thing that I like even more than spending time in the workshop, it is designing posters. And here's a selection of some real project posters for festivals, exhibition, lectures. I'm very happy to say that some of them were really successful. Since I won prizes like the Golden Bee Moscow, Ecuador Poster Biennale, Shenzhen International Poster Festival, Wunderbeste Plakate, Hong Kong International Postage Streamline. Yeah, which was really nice. And as mentioned, students at ABK are encouraged to work on their own project quite early. This slide shows some commercial work I did during this time. Very important for me, for my creative development, were my experiences abroad. I studied graphic design at Winchester School of Art, spent some time at Studio Dumbar in Rotterdam, and at Studio Mut in Lausanne. And especially the work experience has brought me much closer to graphic design in a more classical sense again. The internships certainly influenced the way of direction and my way of working, and also broadened my interests and made me appreciate visual communication even more. Those experiences made me also realize my affinity for the arts and culture sector. And after my time abroad, I directly started to work on my diploma thesis, period data, where you can probably already notice a slight shift in the way I work. So that is the guiding model of my thesis, and a gravure on acrylic and illuminated from the bottom. In my diploma project, I investigated the question of what happens when human data and artificial intelligence are combined in a digital representative. So what is the difference between a human being, a digital representative, and an AI system? And since the identity of a person plays an important role in this context, the psychological 5 pillars model of identity by Marion Petzold was applied, as it gives a good practical presentation of the areas of life in which identity comes into force. And each pillar forms a project which resides in this model that function as the guiding principle. Here you can see the 5 different projects. In the first one, about embodiment, you can see MK2, my representative, that is based on a 3D scan and linked to Unreal Engine, where my facial expressions and the voice are adapted. The second project is about communication, about building up a network for MK2, feeding my WhatsApp messages into a chatbot I coded. I let the chatbot chat with another AI called Replica, my social network, meets friends, family, people on Tinder. And these chats are captured into application. Then the deep dreaming animation is about the process. So building on a poem written by AI, this animation explores what the work in real life of an AI might look like. So the movements of the bots, the working figures in MK2 are written animated using AI. Parts of the material, the objects in the room are also created with it. And the fourth project is called Objects I Would Like to Present. I'm aimed at analyzing material security of the digital representative, referencing the 5-pillar model. It integrates materiality, finances, and ownership in the different items. And using image generators and the prompt objects I would like to present, pictures of MK2's preferences appeared. And 2 of them were selected as models and are manually interpreted in Blender and then modeled and materialized through 3D printing. And the 5th is about ethics. Collected data about me I got through data letters from companies I was in contact with, were implemented in the ASCII picture of MK2 and overprinted by the scratch of ink, and that could be scratched out at the final exhibition. And around a year ago, I started my own studio called Studio Kronschnabl. One of the questions you asked me before was, why did I decide to start my own studio? And I think it's as simple as that. First, I always wanted to be a designer. And the second, since freedom is very important to me, I always wanted to work self-employed. So I did it directly after uni. And my current project also reflects the style I developed during my studies. And this can be seen in works like the ceramic drawing and the zigzag stool, as well as in classic graphic design, such as the poster for the white noise copier or the cover for the Germany magazine. Lastly, I would like to introduce you to our heart project in more detail. The visual communication of empathy best developed women, including inter, non-binary, trans, and agender people as well, of course. And the entire Stadtgalerie Museum for Stuttgart was transformed into the company for a period of 6 months. And all exhibitions, events, and formats were exclusively dedicated to women of Stuttgart and were directly planned and organized by women as well. My main focus was on visualizing the diverse personalities who have shaped and continued to shape the history of the city and beyond. And the letters F, E, and M act as a key element and symbolize these women who were given a stage at the event. And they present themselves in a variety of shapes and color and are in the spotlight of the design, shining and supporting each other. Because of her feminist attitude, I immediately thought of Charlotte Bode when I thought of typography. And the typeface new at 666 seemed to be the perfect complement for it to me. So that rounded off the project quite perfectly. One of the fundamental design challenges for me in this project was to make a progressive, diverse, powerful, and loud position visually recognizable, while at the same time creating a harmonious overall picture that also celebrates softness and sensitivity. Which brings me to the third key lesson I learned for myself. Graphic design is tough work, but I always try to find something that challenges me, but also keeps me curious. What makes the approach itself a fun part? And I think that is what unites most of us designers. We do what we do because of some kind of drive. Maybe because we want to create some kind of change and because we love it. And we love it because it can be so playful and it creates joy. And so it's fun. And when we have fun, we feel at ease. And that is always the goal for me. Thank you.